so we've had a crazy day as usual. Monday, it's like 3:15 in the afternoon. I'm headed now. I have to put. They're doing a small expansion in this one development here in Swan Lake, and they want 8 single deadbolts installed on the exterior doors just while they're doing construction, so nobody can just, you know, walk in and out of it. They wanted knobs. I was like, you should really put deadbolts in there. Supposedly all the doors are drilled for deadbolts. I guess we won't find out until we get there with that. And then I got to run to Fallsburg. I got to change a combination on a Lockey M210 and install a Lockey M210. And hopefully we got enough time to get there today. So I'm running a little short on time. Anyway, I'll be back with you. Alright, so the first thing I'm doing here, they have a pole by the gate where you're going to mount this ABUS lock box right here. I'm going to put some long, just open this up. It takes 4 screws. I'm just going to put 4 long drywalls in this just to hold it on the pole. Alright, so what I did here is just a basic ABUS box. These actually have the key hooks inside. They're pretty decent. I used some 2.5-inch drywalls, and this just closes up and they can reach through the gate right here. That way when they're driving in, it'll make it easy. And they don't have to go crazy doing, you know, trying to walk all the way around the gate in the snow to get in and out. I'm going to set this combo. We're going to move on to the units. There is 4 of them right there. 2 locks on each. This box does have the weather shield. Not that it's going to do much good. It'll still fill full of water, but it'll help it a little bit. All right, so these are cut. We're doing that door times 4. And there is no deadbolt hole cut in there. A different contractor. All the doors work well, like they're supposed to, so far. But let's get this done. And I am using LSDA grade 3, so this face is gonna have to be cut out of here, square. So I just use my jam marker, just smack it, and it takes the corners out. All right, so that marker just pops those little corners out. Pop the 4 of them out of there. And then tap that in there, and we'll just screw it in place. This is just a temporary thing because they're going to put combination locks in here and different colored locks and everything. They're just looking to secure it right now. All right, so we took care of those 8 deadbolts. I ended up doing a Chevy plow truck while I was there too. It's now 4:45. I'm going to run to Fallsburg and I'm going to install this Lockey M210. It's a used one that I had it on another building of his, and I'm going to swap it to a small apartment door. Then we just got to change one other combination. I'll be back with you. All right, so this is what we're doing here. This has an old US lock double on it. And it looks like it's a US lock, and somebody put a Defiant in place of it. So we're going to disable this so it no longer locks, and we're going to put the combination in here. And this, since it's the wrong throw for this door, we have to pull the 2 blue screws out of here, and we're going to change the pin from one side to the other. Okay, so I pulled the 2 blue screws. That comes off. This pin is kind of tough one-handed, comes out of there and just switches to the other side. Push that down in there and you just rock this knob a little bit and it drops right down inside, and you just replace the plate. Plate goes on, and then those 2 little tiny screws go right back in. Okay, so now at this, we have our handing right for this door, but we do have a 2 1/8 inch hole. So we are going to have to put this on this plate, screw it on, and then this will go in and actually cover all that. I'll show you this. All right, so with this M210, you just put the tail piece through,
The front half screws to the plate, top and bottom, so everything works. And then on the back side of the plate, this drops in, and then you put a screw top and bottom, and then this will function perfectly. Okay, so now with this door, when this thing closes, works absolutely perfect. Now we're going to pull that and disable it so they can't lock it. And before anybody complains about me using that as a workbench, it's going in the garbage along with the old blinds that were here and that old vacuum and the other stuff there. Okay, so this lock, they would still be able to lock it with the key, but I'm just going to snap the key off in there halfway down and shove it down in there. He has another lock for this door, and I broke the tailpiece off of the inside because what the tenants are doing, they just locked the deadbolt, and you can see where they've been slipping stuff in here, popping everything open because they weren't using the deadbolt. It saves a lot on that. So just snap that off, break a key off in it. He's going to change it. He has a new passage for this. Okay, so I stuck this back in. This is just spinning circles. He has silver to match this on a passage that he's going to use. So what we can do, you can just yank this key part way out, halfway out. We'll snap this off and just shove that right down inside there. And that's what we end up with. And now nobody can lock this door with a key anymore. Good enough temporarily, because he has people here working and they're locking themselves out with the knob. So now they can only use the combination. Right, and here's the basement door, the old combo. It's 1246. And I'm gonna change this out quick. All right, so this door is all done. I adjusted everything. Everything's nice and smooth now. And we're moving on.
All right, so we took care of the two Lockies. I'm gonna roll, I don't know, 2 or 3 days into one here this week, just because I don't have time to film. Later in the afternoon is better for me once I start to get caught up with everything, because I have my regular calls, and then I have the calls that come in that day that just get flooded in on top of it. You know, by 2, 3 o'clock, I kind of start to settle down a little bit. Anyway, that's done. It's like 5:45, and I'll catch you guys again tomorrow. All right, day 2. Just got caught up with the morning and some of the afternoon stuff, 3:30. Right now, I'm going to a shop in White Sulphur. I have to cut a 13 Ford Fusion high security key. They're providing it. I'm just cutting it for them, and that's that. All right, so this key that we're doing, he provided the key. I'm just cutting it. He's going to program it. But one thing that you have to do, as usual with these Ford keys, is clean this out with like a scribe so you don't break the tracer, and we'll get this set up and cut it. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to choose vehicles. Ford USA. There's a Fusion. $13 to $18. We're gonna hit decode. It's gonna tell us to put it into U0. Fighting it one-handed as usual. That's in there. Next, we'll let it decode and do its thing. Okay, so the decode is complete on this. Comes up with 11479. We can hit next. Pop this key out of here. Into 0. Hit cut. It's going to do its thing. Alright, so we're in this Fusion. I just want to check and make sure that's the original. This is the one I just duped. Smooth as butter. Both sides. Dropping them in there, and we are on the way. All right, so we took care of that 13 Ford Fusion key. That went nice and smooth. Now we are headed towards Livingston Manor, New York. We have to go key for another local shop. We have to key up I think it's a 13 GMC van. We have to key up 2 door locks for that, because the door locks are missing actually. So I have a couple of Stratic cylinders and we'll key them up. All right, so this van we're doing, he actually only needs 1 door lock, and that's your Stratic number. And this is an OEM lock because it's, it's an official GM product, and Stratic Corporation trademarks are used under the license of to Stratic. So Stratic is the maker for OEM, a lot of the OEM stuff, actually. So we can dump this out. And we'll get rid of the factory grease. It's garbage. And he wants an extra key for the truck also, so I'm gonna decode this, and that will give us our cuts for the actual cylinder. All right, so I got the Stratic pinning kit here. I'm going to key this lock up. I'm gonna set all the pins out and then we'll key this up. All right, so what I do with this, I just take this lock, some of them are 4 through 10, some of them are 3 through 9, depending on which GMZ series you're working with, as far as like vans and stuff like that go. I mean, I don't even really look it up anymore. I just know if I pop this apart, I watch my flat on the key, see where it goes into, and then I just read it, by eye. I pull the key out, and then I can just read my cuts down, and then I just I lay everything out in a line with the springs, and then I just throw them in there. So I'll drop a couple in, and I'll actually check it just to make sure it's running on, on the money. And if they don't, wrong one, do me. If they don't pop down in there, usually you can get them in. But if not, I use this Wafer Popper, and this thing it just sits on here, and this will actually shove the wafer right in. Then if you want to remove it, that side goes in, and that just pops your wafer right up out of the other side. And to pop them in, you just squeeze it in. But you don't really need that much anymore. This stuff is not milled like it used to be. Just stick these in, make sure they're falling out right. Kind of trust my readings after all these years, so I'll just key it up. Something rubs, I'll go in and change it. Not a big deal. Should be using my tweezers, but who would want to do something like that and make life easy? Drop that in there. Check it. When you put these together, this will sit out, and as you turn this, it drops right in where it belongs, right there. And that works absolutely perfect. And then we can take these springs here. These go underneath the face cap. And then this face cap will actually slip right over
pops in there and just sits like that. And this face cap has the notch in it. That notch, I don't know if I got you on camera here now, I can't see anything. That notch will line up right there. And that will pop right on there. And that is that. I am just going to stick this tailpiece on here for them because they're actually installing this, and this clip just slips on there. That pin, I don't know if you can see it, that pin right there actually drops into that hole just like all the other old school GMs from back in the day. And just meat pull it on there, I guess. Use a pair of needles as you twist down and push, and it pops right on there. I will just do it on the edge of the bench, just like so, and that pops in there. And now this lock works perfect. This green piece actually goes in here for when the rod slips through. But I don't want to pop it all the way in because it might go through from the other side. And this weather seal that comes with these actually goes in front of the lock. This peels off of here, and that actually goes around there to make a weather seal around the lock when they put it in. And that's that, working absolutely perfect. I'll drop this off in there, and I'm going to cut a key and just cycle it in quick. We'll be on our way.
Alright, so we took care of the Chevy van there. He ended up having me just install the door lock in it. He didn't even want to deal with it. Added the extra key in. The back door, he thought he needed a lock. I just sprayed it up and worked the key in and out a few times, and that started working fine. It's like 5:30 now. I'm going to head home. I appreciate you guys watching, and if you enjoyed it, leave a thumbs up.